Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to today's class on financial literacy. My name is Mr. Jerry, and I'm excited about this opportunity, to share with everyone on the importance of financial literacy. How many of us know the song? I'm sure some of us sang it many years ago. Money slow to enter, money quick to go. So this was one song we always laughed about back then in school. Money slow to enter, but money quick to go. As students, money came in occasionally, but there was always something to spend it on, food most especially. So we always would laugh about, the song that money is slow to enter, but money is quick to go. So it's, so I sang that song, just to give you a background on the importance of why we're discussing financial literacy today, because that is the experience of many people these days. We want to understand how we manage our finances. Managing your finances is instrumental to if you achieve your goals, if you achieve your financial goals, or if you would just be in what Robert Kiyosaki calls a rat race, just going through paycheck to paycheck, and you're running, just going through a particular cycle. Money comes, you spend it all, then you wait for the next one to come. So there's a rat race. That's what Robert Kiyosaki describes as a rat race. But it's possible for you to actually break out of the rat race, and these are some of the things we'll be discussing in today's class. So in today's class, being the first class, we'll talk about the basics of personal financial management, but we'll progress in the course of the class, and in subsequent class talk about investment, personal financial management, investment, managing your finances as a small business owner, or if you are an employee, because it's important that we know how to manage money, because money is not meant to actually stay in one place. Money is meant to revolve. Money moves around. All right, and if you're not careful, someone else is going to take your money from you. So you want to know, I'm very sure one thing that is important to every one of us is we want to know how to attract more money to ourselves. We don't want to just be the one spending money on practically everything. Like everything out there, it's out there to take our money from us. But we want also think about how to attract money too. You want to manage what you have. You want to manage what you have, and you want to know how to also attract money. So these are concepts that are actually very, very important, that are not taught in our educational systems. But you have to self-school yourself on these things, on how to manage your finances. First of all, what you want to learn is, how do I manage the one I have? Then secondly, how do I attract more money to myself? So the two concepts of budgeting and investment are two things that our educational system don't teach us in a very practical way, but we have to learn for ourselves. You need to learn as a young person how to manage your finances. You also need to learn how to invest, how to invest your finances. This was one concept or one topic that bothered me while I left school. After school, I just realized that so many young people never really thought how to invest. We left school with the mindset of, going to work and earning money, and maybe life starts from there. But you see, money is meant to be made. Money is meant to be made. You understand? So that's financial management, that knowledge was never given to us in the four walls of the university, but these are something you need to learn. You need to understand the concept of investment. It is very, very important. But on today's class, our primary focus will be on budgeting. So we want to learn, first of all, how to manage the money that comes to us. Then if you're able to attain the discipline of managing what comes to you, then the next thing we want to look into is, so how do I attract more money to myself? The concept of investment is, it's something that every young person needs to know, every business owner needs to know. Like I said, money is meant to be sent on an errand. Money is supposed to bring in more money. That is the purpose of money. Money is supposed to bring you more money. Imagine money to be like a seed. It's meant to be planted to bring you more money. It's a circle. Money moves in circles. Money is not meant to be kept. A very relatable example would be the story of the king in the Bible. That the Bible says was traveling and called three of his servants, and gave them talents. So imagine those talents to be money. All right. So he gave three of his servants talent, and two were able to put their talent into use, into practical adventures, and they got a profit. But the last one went to keep the money. And at the end of the lesson, we realize that whatever is given to you is supposed to be used profitably. It's supposed to generate more of what it is. So it is a principle. It's a financial principle that we can also apply to our financial lives and how we manage our finances. So money is meant to produce more money. All right, but first things first, we're going to begin from how do you manage what you have? How do you manage what comes to you? Is either you're a business owner or you are an employee, and you get salaries, or maybe from your business and all that. So it's important. The objective of this first class one now is to understand the importance of personal finance. How you want to know how to manage your personal finance, and understand also the pitfall, the challenges that are against your money. You need to know that there are actually forces that are against your money. I don't mean spiritual forces now, but economic forces. If you think about the current situation of Nigeria right now, that is an economic force that is outside the external environment. It's external to you. You have no control over that. You have no control over the government policies. But you see, these policies come and they affect your money. The current price of petrol right now is affecting your money. The inflation level right now is affecting your money. If the government decides to increase tax tomorrow, it's gonna affect your money. It was almost like valued added tax would be increased from 7.5 to 10%. So these are places the government can wake up tomorrow and set. And they affect your money. So these are things you want to be conscious of. Okay, it's part of financial management. If you're managing your finances, then you want to also know what are those factors that come to take my money from me. Those things are important. All right. So we're talking about personal finance and personal financial management. Like I said, whether you're a salary earner or you're a business owner. All right. So your personal finance are those, your income. What comes to you at the end of the period, whether daily, weekly, or monthly. Those are your personal finance. And one very, very important concept in managing your personal finance is the concept of budgeting. And I know that not so many people are well taught, okay, or apply the principles of budgeting, with so much discipline. I'm just going to digress a little and say this, that if you must achieve financial freedom, okay, you must be willing to pay the price of discipline. All right, discipline against the truth is, any person who must achieve financial success must be disciplined. It is important because right now we're talking about budgeting. Okay, so say you earn a particular amount of money at the end of the month and you apply. There is a very popular rule, the 50-30-20 rule, where 50% go to the things you need, the things you cannot do without. Okay, you probably have to skip a certain amount of money for rent. Okay, or maybe rent is important. Okay, food is important. Car maintenance are important. So these are expenses that what you would call like fixed expenses. Okay, what expenses you must carry out in the month. All right, then 30% can go into the things you want. Those are personal things. You want to improve your wardrobe. Okay, you want to get some things for yourself that you need in the immediate time. So those are your wants. So then you're left with 20%. All right, 20% of course will go into savings. Okay, it is important. It is important that everyone imbibe the culture of savings. Okay, so discipline is required for you to. Discipline is a skill. Okay, for you to be able to imbibe the culture of budgeting. Budgeting is important because if you are not budgeting, that is to say you are practically spending everything you get, or you spend what is left. You're not supposed to earn and save what is left. No, the savings should be budgeted. There is a principle. If you read some of these books, these finance books, you learn the concept of paying yourself first. That is, it is important. It is a practice. It is a principle. So the amount that you're saving must be budgeted for. The amount of money you want to spend must be budgeted for. And when you approach your budget, your budget limit, that's it. That's it. You have to wait. It requires that level of discipline. It requires a level of discipline where you might not be allowed to make impulsive purchases or impulsive buying, because why? You've exceeded your budget limit. So budgeting is the beginning, okay, the beginning skill to proper financial management. I mean, it is important. You must, if you're applying the 50-30 rule or whatever percentage works with you, you must understand that you must be disciplined to follow this formula. If you want to increase your savings to 30%, depending on what your needs are and your wants are, the things you need to spend money on in a month or for a period of time, beautiful. Okay, but you must have a spending formula for every money that comes to you, and you must be disciplined enough to follow that formula. So budgeting is it's a very, very important part of financial literacy. It's a very, very important skill in financial literacy. And if you must begin this journey of financial literacy, okay, I want to know how money works. I want to learn how to manage my money. The first thing you want to do is to split your money into pieces. Okay, split your money into pieces. Know how to portion. Know how to do apportionment when it comes to your finances. You don't spend everything you get. All right, because there's something called emergency fund. All right, so I'm moving from budgeting now into savings. All right, now, like I said, the reason why you have to budget is because it helps against overspending. All right, it helps against overspending, and it also helps build the culture of savings. Right now, the reason why savings is important is because every person must have what we call an emergency fund. All right, an emergency fund is that fund that is your go-to when you need certain things. Okay, you want to pay your rent. Okay, now for what most people do is, okay, when it's time to pay their rent, they start looking for the money. Normally, your rent should have already been. You should already have a schedule or a system or a pattern of saving towards certain things. All right, that's another section we'll come into in today's class. Certain short and long-term financial goals. All right, so the importance of savings is because it helps you have what we call an emergency fund. All right, emergency fund is that fund you go to in the case of an emergency. We don't wish to have emergency situations, but you see, these situations are bound to happen. You must have that fund somewhere where you call an emergency fund. It's not just because of something bad happens. Okay, an investment opportunity could also come. A viable investment opportunity could come, and what if you have no money to spend on that? Think about it. Imagine, an opportunity comes that you could actually invest in and get a certain returns for your money, and you don't have. Because so when people say emergency funds, it's not only for unforeseen situations, but opportunities are also unforeseen as well. Opportunities are unforeseen. If you are someone who is interested in investing into stocks, recently, so many banks, because of the recapitalization, so many banks they started selling many of their share units. So imagine if that opportunity, appeased you so well, but you had no emergency funds. You find yourself in a trap. So opportunities could actually come and you miss them because you have no savings, you have no emergency funds. It's important. And another part of this class we will talk about is the concept of investing. Investing is of utmost importance. So imagine if you're not even saving, if you're not budgeting, you've missed the basic steps of proper financial management. So you can't even grow your money. Like I said, money is not meant to be kept. You're losing money if you're keeping money. If all you do is earn money and you keep it in the bank, you are losing money. You're losing money because the moment our currency keeps getting devalued, do you know how many billionaires lost their billionaire status this year, from last year into this year, because of the financial situation in the country? So you see, so if you had money in the bank, all right, and between last year and this year, the value of your money is not the same because of the revaluation. Okay, because of the fact that our local currency here lost its value to, the other currencies, the quote currencies. So you see what I'm trying to say? So if you are not applying the basics of financial management when it comes to your personal finance, you cannot multiply your money. And what are the basics we're talking about today? Budgeting, saving. You must have a ratio on how your money is spent. What percentage of my money goes into basic necessities? What percentage of my money goes into the things I need to do in a month? Like I said, for things for expenses that you know that you must incur at the end of a particular period, like your rent, you have to save towards it. You must, it's like dicing a cake, so you have to take that knife, your ratio in this situation right now, and dice your income and be disciplined to follow through. Like I said, financial success is a function of discipline. If you cannot exercise discipline, you cannot achieve success. You cannot achieve success as a person. It requires significant amount of discipline. All right, so you decide what financial ratio you want to apply. I have suggested 50, 30, 20. It's common. It's a very common ratio. The very, very common ratio. But depending on how much you earn and what are the things you need to spend your money on, you can decide what ratio you want to apply. All right, so have a budget, okay? And there are certain apps you can actually use, to budget. Like what I do, I have a money management app on my phone. So every time money comes to me, I put it in an income level and I start tracking my expenses. You can use basic Excel too. I use an Excel tool. Okay, there's a money management app on my phone, but I prefer to use Excel because of the Excel formulas. So you could just, it helps. The Excel formula just helps you bring out their ratios, and you just know how much you need to allocate to this and this and this. So, but it's something you must be conscious about. Proper financial management, you must be conscious of. All right. Well, don't just have money coming to your account and it's just going out. No, have a structure, have a system of financial management, have a budget, okay, have a system of financial management, have a ratio, have a ratio on how your money is spent and how much of that money is saved. It is very important, and I told you the importance of why savings are important, because everyone has a financial goal, whether you like it or not. You have a financial goal. It's either it is the rent you have to pay, or it is something you want to get, or you're saving towards your wedding, or something you're saving towards a car. Everyone has a financial goal. But it's investment. You want to build a portfolio of investment. I'm really excited about our investment class, and I can't wait for us to get to that section. So we could actually talk, because many people are not well informed on the concept of investment. Like I said, it's something that bothered me. I had to learn investment in my 20s, because it's necessary. All right, it's necessary. Money is not meant to be kept. Money is meant to be multiplied. If you must become wealthy, you must learn how to multiply money. All right. So I said the reason why we have to budget, and in our budgets we are making an allocation for savings, is because everyone has short-term goals and long-term goals. Short-term goals, the goals you want to achieve within a particular year. Long-term goals, depending on how long it is, 5 years, 3 years, maybe retirement or something. You want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, so we have long-term goals, we have short-term goals. And basic rent is, of course, obviously part of our short-term goals. You must pay a rent, so you want to budget for that. You don't want to just keep spending all you have and expect that money will come, that lump sum will come when it's time for you to pay your rent, and you pay it. You must understand. When we get to the investment class, we'll talk about the thing about compound interest. How important that is. All right, so this is just us elaborating the importance of the importance of financial management. We moved from budgeting. Why budgeting is important? Because when you budget, it helps you not overspend, and also helps you keep some of your income as savings. All right, so that what you have as savings can be multiplied. So it's a channel. It's a series of skill that leads to a particular end. And what is that end? You're not just spending everything that you get, rather you are able to multiply money. Okay, imagine as in you're able to reproduce money. Money is meant to be reproduced. Money is not meant to be consumed. If you're a consumer, that means everything that comes to you, you just have a zero limit budgeting. I mean, everything comes and everything goes. No, you cannot accumulate wealth that way. You cannot accumulate financial freedom. You cannot attain financial freedom that way. Okay, so the concept of budgeting is very important. The concept of savings is likewise important. All right, and the concept of investment is important. These are three concepts in financial management that require certain skills that you must become very, very informed on on budgeting, informed on savings, and informed on investment. All right, so I'll just flog a little on savings. And when I talk about savings, I'm not necessarily referring to putting your money in the bank. Okay, if you want to do that, beautiful, but there are ways you can actually save. You can save in a fixed deposit. Okay, you can save in treasury bills. You can actually loan money to the government. So these are concepts we will talk about in the investment class. All right, so when I say savings, I don't mean okay, after everything come, you spend this part and you leave the rest in the account. I told you something. I said money kept idle is actually you lose money that you keep idle. So you're not, so in the savings, you have to save it in a way where it's generating you a higher interest. All right, then so that is still linked to part of the things we talk about in our investment. And like I said, the reason we have to do all of this is because we are tending towards achieving our short-term or our long-term goals, which of course are very, very important. Okay, so right now we'll talk about certain financial pitfalls that like you might not necessarily be aware of, but they're everywhere around us. So you need to know these things, and this is the reason why you need to build certain financial skills to help you manage your finances properly. Okay, so there are internal factors and external factors that come at your money.